I know we all like to rant on about Keir the traitor Starmer, but I can safely say this time this is not an issue caused by Keir the traitor Starmer. This is an issue caused by the NPCs who have all the collective IQ of a damp cloth. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well. Now, what am I referring to? Gorton and Denton. The Greens have been victorious over there. Now, from what I understand, there are claims of family voting. Electoral fraud, basically. Now, if this is the case, and it is true, there needs to be a serious investigation opened up into the Green Party. Though I do find it kind of funny that some of these claims are also coming out from the Labour Party, who they were all too happy to try and secure the Muslim vote. Yet, when other people do it, all of a sudden, they've got a big fucking problem with it, don't they? I think the term pot kettle black springs to mind. And that's probably going to get me arrested for racism against kettles. Anyway, the fact is, we have Keir the traitor Starmer, who was already siding with Islam and effectively trying to secure the votes of Islam. We also have him trying to decrease the age of voting down to 16 to try and get young people to vote for him. But of course, there was a 17-year-old who absolutely fucking schooled this prat. And understandably, people are, well, to say the least, they're not big fans of Keir the traitor Starmer. But I cannot think of a single human being who has at least one collective brain cell in their head who would even remotely consider voting for what I would consider the tree-hugging Islam party. I mean, to me, that makes about as much sense as the one time I caused a friction burn and tried to put TCP on my Leave You Me. There was more than 2 people unhappy with that one. Trust me, that is one mistake I'm not going to make ever again. But what I also understand is apparently the turnout of voters, was it like 48 or was it 44%? I can't remember off the top of my head. But it was below 50 and above 40, I know that much. Oh, it's not my weight in stones. Shut it, for fuck's sake. But I do honestly think that when you have people like Zach Polanski, who effectively wants completely open borders, completely legalised drugs of all capacities, which I should also point out also includes date rape drugs, there is a very big fucking problem I have with that. Think about it. What are a lot of Islamic men known for when they try to grab young girls and young women? They go straight for the drugs and the alcohol, and they look to ply a woman with more alcohol than Andy Farnham. These mullahs might be buying the drinks, but I can tell you this certainly isn't fucking happy hour. But of course the mainstream media won't tell you this. You know the drill, folks, because say it with me. It doesn't suit the narrative. And you know what? This is one of the very few times I would not have minded the reformians actually winning the election, as at least then we wouldn't have this toxic shit to deal with from the green tree-hugging party of Islam. You know what it's also going to do, though? It's going to give a huge kick up the arse for Nigel Al-Faraji and the reformians. And it's also going to give a good kick up the arse to us patriots as well, who need to reclaim this country. It'll also be an extremely big kick up the arse for those who are patriotic but spend more time sitting on their arse watching football than actually doing something. World Cup may not be over, but it's looking like 3-0 to the establishment for the way I look at things. Maybe this will give them the spur they need. Maybe this will give them the kick up the jacksie, to use my granddad's term, God rest his soul, to actually motivate these guys into doing something. Because I tell you right now, if we don't get our fingers out of our asses, I can tell you right now, Islam is going to take over this country. Just like that. And last time I checked, I don't think there are many Christians out there, or people, whether it's Advance UK, whether it's the well actually no, I can't really say the reformians, because after all, they want people like, what's-her-face, Shabina Begum back in the country. But certainly people from Advance UK, people from Restore Britain, all these people, myself included, people from UKIP, we don't want Islam to take over this country. We don't want Sharia law as the governing body. Isn't the chip butty or the bacon butty or whatever something that is traditionally British, or am I wrong? But the thing is, Islam doesn't like bacon, as we all know. They prefer the halal style of butchering animals with non-stun slaughter. You should wonder how Islam still exists, considering they're all a bunch of fucking animals. Anyway, they do support this kind of barbaric practice towards animals, whether it's cows, whether it's sheep, whether it's pigs. The idea of non-stun slaughter and dispatching animals in the least humane way possible is something I am thoroughly against. The fact that Islam also wants to treat women as second-class citizens at best, third class at worst, and then we probably got homosexuals as third or fourth class individuals. Is that something the Green Parties really want to support? Is that something that the reformians want to support? Because I'll tell you right now, it's not something I want to fucking support. The only thing I'd fucking support of Islam is the controlled demolition of all their bloody mosques. Islam is not welcome here. Islam is a cancer. It is a terminal illness for those who are terminally brain dead. Why else would these fuckers come along when there's 50 different states, 50 different countries that these wankers could go to where they can preach to Alan's snack bar however much they fucking please? The truth is, they're not here to integrate, they are here to conquer. And the Labour Party and the Green Party are merely two useful idiots for Islam. Keir the traitor Starmer living up to his name as being the biggest tool in the fucking country. You said that's a lie, Matty's a tractor. Shut up, you. I'm not that bad. I'm not that fucking big. Don't. How dare you? That's an insult to farmers. Fuck off with that. I can only hope that when the next local election comes along in my constituency, let's hope the people of Norwich actually have the common fucking sense not to vote for the tree-hugging Islam party. Sorry, I mean the Green Party. And also, more importantly, let's also hope they aren't going to vote the reformians into that constituency. The way I see it, there's only two viable candidates for that place. UKIP or Restore Britain. If it ain't them, it ain't any good. You know, something that's funny for me as well is apparently someone's saying that me calling the Reform Party the Reformians is apparently a slur. Like, are you having a laugh? And if you honestly think that is a slur, I'm being very fucking tame compared to what I could truly say about the Reformians. But regardless of what I say, they're not going to like what I have to say about them. Or, of course, the Green Party. But here's the thing about me, and you lot can say it with me. I am not going to sugarcoat a motherfucking thing. I am not going to mince my words. I am going to say it exactly how it is. And I'll do my best not to bullshit you. Voting either for the Reformians or the Green Party is only going to be a net negative for this country. Period. There is no two ways about it. There is no other way it can be. If you vote for those two parties, you are effectively voting for the decline of the UK. That is the cold, bitter truth. Unfortunately, there are so many people who don't want to admit that. And I don't need to say much about June Slayer. I've already made my points very clear about her, who seems to want to ignore everything that is wrong with the Reformian Party. But you can't cure stupid, folks. If they want to do that, that's their choice, but they can't then be surprised if what I've said is correct. But as far as the Green Party, if there is electoral fraud going on, there needs to be a re-election. And as much as I'm loath to say it, if we then see the Reformians get into power, get into their constituency, and then they end up proving me right in that they are not the right party for the UK, it'll come out, and then people will know at the general election the answer is not to vote for Farage, it is to vote for Rupert Lowe. But it's like I say, I can give these people the bridge to walk across. I can give them the information. I can give them the facts. I can give them anything. I can give them that bridge, but they're the ones who have to cross it. And if they're not willing to accept the truth, the ravine will happily accept them. As far as the patriots, though, who want this country to be better, let this be a wake-up call. Because 48% of people turning up, it's not going to cut it. You'll be lucky if you even scratch the surface. If you want a real change, you've got to have the balls, whether up here or down there, or in my case both, to actually go out and vote for your future. And if you haven't got the force to do it, you can't then complain if the country gets screwed over, quite frankly. If even someone like me can be bothered to go out and vote, then surely there are some people out there who also are capable of doing it. But you've got two choices. You either put up and shut up if you can't be bothered to vote, because you can't blame anybody else for your inaction, or you can take matters into your own hands, vote for a party like Restore Britain or UKIP that will deliver change, and hopefully reclaim the country from the reformians, from the Green Party and the Uni Party as a whole. And you can fight back against the establishment. The ball's in your court, folks. Make your vote count.